Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Tenpins and More here at Rio Rancho in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. It is the 20th anniversary of this wonderful tournament here, the New Mexico Open. The Stepladder Finals are here, and we are ready. We've got 4 fantastic finalists, and I've got 2 wonderful individuals in the booth here with me. You've heard the voice of Jim Tillery all throughout the day. Jim is back. He doesn't have his cool pants on, but it's okay. We will accept that. And then, of course, the author of the Mike Miller special. Mike Miller himself is here to join us once again for the Stepladder Finals. First,
thank you,
Jim and Mike, thanks for being here. We appreciate your time. Mike, I'll start with you simply because we've heard Jim a lot today.
Okay.
But in all seriousness, Mike, obviously, everyone talks about the pattern, and for good reason. And so it has been difficult, as you would certainly expect, and a lot of the players have told me it's even been more difficult in that regard. What is it about this year's pattern, without obviously giving too much away, that you were looking for this year's event on the 20th anniversary?
Okay, so for a number of years I've wanted people to have to play out. I didn't, it's always difficult to make it to where you force people into a certain part, but we've had a lot of players over the years migrate in. Steve's not a big fan of people throwing it over the left edge or over the gutter cap, and neither am I. So we're trying, and then also you're trying to keep it fair. That's another thing.
Sure,
left to right, straight players, croakers, and guys that can really zap it. And now you've got the two-handers who throw a completely different wrench into it, not to mention the equipment. So when you factor all that in and you try to come up with a shot, the best thing I could do this year was to put out quite a bit of volume, which I coordinated with my guy that's doing the machines this week, Jason Shenwolf, who did a fantastic job with the machinery. We had so many problems last year, and this year has been fantastic, so I got to give him kudos. He did have a couple of ideas. I switched it around. The forward only has 13 mils, and it stops probably close to the 4th arrow, the dovetail, and buffs out to 37 feet. The reverse has 19 mils. So we have 32 total in about a 25-foot area. So does that make a difference? Absolutely. You've got one heck of a platform for the ball to scoot through the front, but when it comes off of it, your mistakes are accentuated, and the middle part of the lane just did not play very well early on.
No, it did.
Spare shots had to be employed. You had to wait at least 4 or 5 games. Jim can attest to that because Jim bowled on it.
Right.
I threw a lot of spares too.
Yeah, and they were difficult. Spares were difficult this year because they did hook so much in the middle. Everybody that comes to this tournament, especially the players who bowl it numerous times, they want them hard. They want them tough. They expect that, and some it advances their talent, some it doesn't. But we have 4 this year, who are fantastic players.
Hey, real quick, Jim, just our opening match here. Of course, Jakob Butturff, our number 1 seed, our number 2 seed is Francois Lavoie. We'll talk about the history for both of those players potentially, but KJ is going to start DeeRonn, the number 3 seed. The higher seed, so had choice of starting position. He chose to allow KJ on the other side of this shot. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Kevin Jenkins to start it up. And 3-9 for KJ. Early lefty-righty matchup, and we've seen that a lot today. But just for both players, just some early keys for them to be able to win this opening match and really just kind of settle in as quickly as they can.
Well, this one is a single game match for these guys, so they don't have a lot of time to mess around. They're bowling on a fresh pair here, and both of them are pretty experienced players, but getting the adrenaline to settle down and knowing that they're in the championship is a big deal. So keeping the ball speed down, making spares, as I write on cue, is important. And is there an advantage? I don't know. Righty or lefty, I think both guys have a similar reaction out. If there's any experience, obviously winning the Masters here a month and a half, 2 months ago, is got to play big into DeeRonn's situation. And so If there's an advantage, I'd say he might have it, just a slight advantage on the right side right now.
First shot for DeeRonn Booker. Bang. His simple game plan, as we talked about yesterday when he joined us in the booth, the urethane was certainly going to be in play for him. We did see him during one match throw reactive. But for the most part, it's been urethane for specifically DeeRonn. And for the most part, I'm not sure KJ has actually thrown a reactive ball. He's thrown it on the field. But we might not see KJ throw reactive either. Great shot.
How about those first two? Can they get any cleaner than that?
No.
Wow.
Mike, for you, you've watched DeeRonn from the New Mexico perspective, and I asked a lot of players and people just who live here, what his win meant after KJ's shot. I'm going to ask you what DeeRonn's win meant from your perspective to the state of New Mexico. KJ. And a 7-pin. KJ's been solid throughout the day. As Steve Mackey mentioned, he's averaged 226.2 today, just today, in matches. And so he's got a regional title. As Jeff joked about, he's on the JLB tour. But he recently just sold his business, and he is looking forward to bowling more PBA 50 stuff in the future. He's 48 years old. Good spare. All right, quickly, Mike, the win from DeeRonn winning the Masters and kind of bringing the title back home to New Mexico.
And everybody likes to be around someone that's had experience like that. And it's been recent. And so they're going to want to talk to him, and they do get to talk to him. And he's personable, he's easy to talk to. So I think it's just exciting. I think that's the most important part, is it's exciting for them to be able to just converse with him or just talk to him about anything, especially if they're bowling, because they want to get better.
Excellent. Third frame. Left lane, maybe early trickiness for KJ. He said he just wanted he's going to play as straight as possible, is what he said. And that's been his mantra essentially throughout the entire tournament. Obviously not a need or a reason to switch that up.
Well, and he'd like to send a shout out to his wife Marisa and his son Logan, who are watching. So we want to say hello to them.
Good by stick landing, but well enough to make that spare. All this week I was talking about, sometimes it takes a few frames just to kind of get settled in, even just during normal qualifying. Now where the stakes are much higher, $13,500 on the line, and the title of New Mexico Open champion. Here's Booker.
A little fast, maybe. A little wide.
Well, I mean, it appeared that he stuck. That's why he's checking the shoe. So he may not have the smoothest. He's very smooth. You can hardly hear DeeRonn's ball hit the lane ever.
I know.
So, and back in my day, I think personally DeeRonn would have been a force to be. He's a force to be reckoned with now. But when we were bowling, Jimmy, he would have been a weapon, a threat every week.
Oh, DeeRonn Booker.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah.
As you look at guys like Dave Husted and
I think about Tim Chris.
Oh yeah.
Got a slow roller.
Yeah.
And he's much smoother than
better.
Tim.
Yeah, he's much better at that.
Yeah.
What a spare. We've seen a very nice split conversions made by numerous players, but to come out and do it in frame 3, especially early on after a double, big spare there for DeeRonn, and now back on it here. 4th frame. Mike, you know this play. Well, both of you know this place really well, but what are we seeing? And we've been talking about the differences between lane 7 and 8. Steve has mentioned, right lane might be a little tighter. What are you seeing from these shots from DeeRonn here?
They look pretty close. I mean, when he hits 3-4 going up the lane, it's an X right now. It may not stay that way, but that's what I'm seeing right now. I think the fact that he's trusting it, he just picked up the 210. I mean, unfortunately, he missed that, but he's trusting it. And I think that's paramount. If you're going to win this thing, you're going to have to trust it.
He hasn't wavered. Jim, what does KJ now have to do? He's got an opportunity, still looking for his first strike, but his opponent has given him an open.
Well, he's been light the last couple of shots, and I think the fresh pair, and I think his adrenaline's flowing pretty good right now. I think he just needs to slow down, realize that he's still in the match here. You know, DeeRonn gave him a break right there, so he just got to execute and get one on the board here. That's
got a hook.
Oh,
all right.
Mark it down.
Need a few breaks to get it done here.
He said that's one. I think his son Logan sent that one in from Arizona, so
well, yes,
that'll take that one. Kevin, like to thank Hammer and Boulder Dynamics and Vice Grips sponsoring him. He wanted me to send a shout out to them.
Kevin Jenkins, always a very really personable individual to talk to. Goes out of his way to say hello to me. Wow, how about that one?
That was his best shot of the match right
sent
there.
that one for a ride.
Yeah.
Smooth.
That was his best shot of the match.
That ball read from about 20 feet on. It was just one nice continuous arc.
Yeah, that was his best shot of the match, that's for sure.
All right, DeeRonn missed the 2-8, a double in frames 4 and 5 for KJ. He can settle into the match. Booker looking to reset here, frame 5. Opening match, New Mexico Open Stepladder, and a similar, in fact, the exact same situation on the right lane again for DeeRonn.
He knows how to pick this up.
Just did it.
Yes, he does.
This is kind of giving small vibes where in some earlier matches on the fresh in particular, there'd be a lane or two that'd be a little squirrely, right? And he had to work his way through it. The difference is he had 2 games to work his way through it. Doesn't have that here and went forward one more time.
That was a good try.
Wow.
DeeRonn behind the 8 ball here early.
A lot of frames left. So many frames left. One game goes pretty quick, but this is not hardly decided at all.
No. Tough pattern, anything can happen.
Absolutely. One frame changes it all.
Here's a change, folks. Making a different, I believe, a different urethane choice on the left lane. We'll see how it plays out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. And Booker puts one in the channel.
You know, Bob Euchre would have said just a bit outside.
Just a bit.
It's good comedy relief right there.
Just a
we
little.
needed that because, there was a gasp
Yeah,
in
there
the
was
building.
a lot of hello in the audience on that one, wasn't there?
Well, we are sitting just to the left of the DeeRonn, well, it's like a student section over there. They're ready to go crazy. DeeRonn just got to settle back in.
It's a better shot.
Wow.
And that ball's obviously more off the spot.
Yeah, and it was clear why he wanted to go to it.
Sure.
A couple of
two pin,
right.
210 twice. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, after the great start, DeeRonn double, made the 210, got the crowd in a frenzy. 3 consecutive opens, including a gutter, and Kevin Jenkins with all kinds of momentum.
Oh, he got it in.
Yes, he did. And lucky to just only have a 2-pin there.
That's a lot of 9. Very happy to
good
have
9
9
this week.
Very happy to have 9 on that shot, I guarantee you.
He's using reactive right there. That ball may not hit the 3-pin. It might hit the 6-pin going away.
Yes.
We did see a few shots, like not from Kevin, but just throughout the qualifying, of course. All right, good spare. Mike, you mentioned how DeeRonn, how his game basically would transcend when you bowl, right?
Yes.
Our game has come back around to equipment that was used also when you bowl. For you, and you can answer after KJ, but for you and where you stand as a lane man creating patterns and someone who's experienced this at the highest levels, where does urethane kind of fit now, and what is it? What's your opinion from the on the aspects of it returning and having such a big impact on the sport right now?
Well, most of these guys are using urethane. Great shot. They're using urethane to control the lane, to control the pattern, to control their break. They want to hit the pocket either for lefty, it's 1-2, if righty, it's a 1-3. They're trying to make sure they're getting to that, especially on something that's hard. They don't want the ball to shoot, and they know they're probably going to have to go to reactive eventually if they bowl enough games. But DeeRonn's getting ready to bowl here, but I think that's what the main purpose of using urethane. That's why it's so popular again.
Big shot back to the IQ 78U and has it.
He kind of went more direct with that one with that ball. It didn't have that bounce off of there.
Right.
Looked like it toned down the reaction a little, but it was a good shot.
Happy Sunday to Brianna Cote checking in. Speaking of professional champions, that is one there, and everyone watching here on Bowlstream TV, we thank you. Please hit smash that thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, and share everywhere. Steve Mackey would be very happy. Important double. Oh, he trips to 4-9, and he's back in it.
Back in it, yep.
That's a big hit right there. Took a little bit of stress off him too. He was feeling a little pressure after the reopens. He's thinking, wow, what do I got to do here?
Things can change so rapidly.
It's a big shot right here for Kevin.
Jenkins. Oh, a lot of 9 again.
Again.
Wow.
Is that a sign of just being fortunate? You're in the right part of the lane, or just both?
Personally, I think this is the 3rd time they've been stripped and oiled today, and we see this year after year. On some patterns, it's brutal. They're moving probably every other shot when they get back to the lane. I know Cortez, when he won, I noticed that he was having to stay on his horse immediately. This, not so much, but I guarantee you the surface it's tense, it's shocked, because they don't ever get stripped this much. So the memory's not there. So any artificial help that is there normally, gone.
It is playing truer.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know they've been stripped, folks. I've been watching. I get here and Mike's out. Even last night, he's walking 1 through 24, making sure there was nothing left on the lanes.
Got to do it.
Big shot here. Oh my.
Wow.
And KJ had been trying to, he was avoiding that situation. And now it has come up and got him the 3-6-7. That was a big shot because he couldn't have been shut out if he did strike. And now that opportunity is no longer exists. Francois Lavoie waiting in the wings. He's the number 2 seed. He will face the winner. Must have, needs a little help. Won't get it. Now the open for KJ. Max score is 193. And will it look to be in frames 4, 5, and 6? Maybe DeeRonn had lost an opportunity. It's right there staring him in the face.
He needs this one.
Booker. Wow. 2-8. DeeRonn.
Looked pretty good off the hand. I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good shot myself.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
maybe just a tick more speed, but that's just how sensitive they are.
Right.
So, got to make the spare first and foremost. We'd be looking at a 188 max. That's with all 3 in the 10. Hook. All right. Makes this one. He missed one earlier. Kevin, of course, Geraldine is from Phoenix. DeeRonn from Albuquerque, originally from California. I believe he said he's been here now about 6 or 7 years. His pro shop, Starlight.
Said his sister just moved out here recently also.
She's she'll be here for, going to be about a year and a couple months, he said. Well, it's simple for DeeRonn. It needs at least a double to force KJ to show up in the 10th frame. First one, that's hooking a lot. Dang.
Big shot. Just out of curiosity, did you guys Google Price is Right and DeeRonn Booker? Anybody watch that?
I did not, but I've heard
the
I've
Showcase
heard about
Showdown.
It, yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah, someone told me that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's worth a look.
I have to get right on that.
Booker, the first one good. This is a must strike situation. It would help his cause a lot. And a weak 10. All right, so here's the situation.
Yeah.
Kevin will need to mark in the 10th frame.
Tell you, there's no guarantees on this stuff, man, on this pattern.
And not only will he need to mark, the count will be important.
And we saw that earlier in a couple matches.
He's gonna need to fill 16.
Yeah, Jason Silva had to fill 17 against, was it Francois, that first game?
He got the spare.
And then he leaves the bucket.
Yeah. And he bucketed, they tied.
Yeah.
And Francois got him.
Losing a 2-frame low off.
Yep.
All right, so what a back and forth match this has been. KJ thought he let his opportunity get away. And now again, he's got a chance to step up and win the opening match here. That looks pretty darn good. Bang. Wow.
That's a big shot.
Well, he saved his best for last right there.
That one looked probably about 75, 80% of the speed that he was throwing, maybe even just a few frames ago.
Right.
The ones that squirted were definitely firmer.
Right.
Yeah.
That one was smooth and online, and it just checked up a little quicker and looked right for the face.
Smart man right there.
Hey.
Not mad about that approach.
Maybe he's going to move there for the next game.
Takes his plastic ball.
Yeah. With a plastic ball.
Right up to the head pin and get the appropriate count. And we'll see how KJ will elect to handle this fill shot. He's going to the bag and we'll pick up another purple hammer. You guys like that move?
Well, it's a fill shot. I mean, why not? Try something different.
Sure. Similar surface, probably just a little different drill. See if it goes sooner or later.
Maybe it'll allow him to be a little more differential in speed and not penalize him so much.
Right.
DeeRonn Booker. It's a storybook season for DeeRonn. USBC Masters champion here in 2024. He is. He had a nice long talk yesterday during the first portion of Squad 5. Everything since his win, what he's been trying to do, continuing to be an inspiration, helping folks. That's what he talked about. Coaching. He's had a chance to do some public speaking. Couldn't have happened to a better individual.
Absolutely. Well, he's had really good year, and obviously when I talked to him maybe about a month ago, I said, well, you know, that'll start you off. That's a really nice win. That's a nice hit. I mean, bowling 100,000 for a hit to win a tournament is tremendous. And he said, well, I plan on winning more.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
That was his answer.
That's a great answer.
And the appropriate answer.
Yes.
I would say as well.
You know, the great thing, you look at him, who has a better smile than that? I mean, that's a great smile. It really is.
You have a pretty good smile, Jim.
Well, you know.
All right, as we get you prepared for our, what is essentially a semifinal match. Francois Lavoie, the number 2 seed, gets 3 shots on each lane. Francois looking to become just the second person in the history of this tournament to win the event in consecutive years. Ron Young, who won the first two, is the only player to do it. Francois is back on the show, and he's got a chance to do it. In your mind, Mike, watching Francois, especially these last few years at this event, with heartache and then triumph last year, what does he have to do, in your opinion, to get this win today? Even just this match, before we even get to the title match, just this win.
Well, Francois is going to do exactly what Francois does, which is just keep it in play. You know, he's very good at that, and he realizes that this is the third time they've been stripped today. He's going to try to find something that's as smooth off the spot as he can find. If that means he sacrifices a little bit of carry, so be it. He's not. I don't think Francois is going to beat himself. Okay,
No.
that's my take on Francois. I would dub him the silent assassin.
Same question, Jim.
He walks softly and carries a big stick.
Yes.
You know, and he just went to his bag, got another ball that he used earlier. And he'll probably go out there a little bit, and this ball will check up a little sooner for him and just kind of sit there. It doesn't do a whole lot of reaction on the back end, doesn't do a lot of moving. But
Yeah, it's interesting you said that. 'Cause we noticed that. It is reactive, but it's not violent off the spot.
right, and it checks off the spot pretty good. It just doesn't skip flip. It just kind of rolls off the spot.
Right.
But it rolls earlier off the spot. And one thing about it is he's such a good spare shooter, and he's got a calm mind, and he's a kid that's not going to beat himself.
Right. I think what they're both looking for is to be able to throw it maybe a little harder and a little softer and still hit the pocket. That's the key, because we've already seen that it's pretty touchy.
I think he get a chance to catch up a little bit with Francois prior to the match. And, of course, the six-time titleist, he's got 3 majors. Of course, 2 U.S. Opens and a Tournament of Champions. All right, so obviously he knows how to bowl, 31 years of age. He wants him to hook as early as possible. Like, he wants his ball to be able to hook as early as possible, as you basically just described. That's what he's looking for. It doesn't matter which ball it is, he said.
Right.
If it's got to be reactive, he still wants to see the same thing.
Right.
He knows what to do off
With
of that. Yeah.
Yes. That's his comfort zone.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
I asked him the question was, what would make you comfortable right off the bat? I want my ball to hook as early as possible.
To move, make motion.
First 20 feet.
Well, what's
was
interesting is he went to that other ball, too. So he's got 2 there.
Two different choices.
Right. It's nice to have that.
So if you recall, Jim, you know, in the 1-2 match with Jakob Butturff, that game 2 got a little iffy for both players.
Right.
And I looked at the board and I'm like, who bowled on this pair before? And it was DeeRonn and Mason, righty and the lefty.
Right.
And Francois said that he had to work around what DeeRonn had done prior to. I had to do it again just a little bit. It wasn't a 2-game scenario, but DeeRonn obviously just got off the pair, so that could, I don't know if it plays into the favor of Francois because it's the same player that he's got to work around from the right side.
Correct.
But he knows it's there, and it could be a situation for him to look out for.
Well, and he went to both balls in the bag there, relying on that experience he had on 5 and 6 from earlier, and he did it in practice. He worked in practice on both balls, and so, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what he starts with because it looks like he feels comfortable with either one. When you got Francois that's comfortable, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
I want him as uncomfortable as possible.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, the guy just knows how to win. And there's something to be said about that.
You can't beat experience, especially in these moments, in these situations. It just helps so much, and he's got a bushel basket full.
Yeah.
All right, Francois, again, the higher seed. He's elected to have Kevin Jenkins begin the match.
Pretty good shot. Money. I think that's the ball he used on the fill ball. I think that's the one he tried on the fill ball.
You think so?
I think he liked how it checked up a little quicker.
Just the speed of it, it looks about 75, 80%. You can see that sometimes when he gets a little pumped or if he wants one, kind of has a tendency to scoot.
That's where those 3 pins
Yes.
combos come up with.
Yes.
In the booth with PBA champion Mike Miller, Moriarty's own Jim Tillery. My name is Emil Williams Jr. The finals of the New Mexico Open semifinal match. First shot for Francois Lavoie, defending champion.
Stay with the urethane.
Yeah. I thought he'd go back to that
The one that
flip
flipped?
ball.
Yeah, me too.
I was surprised that he used that one on the last practice
I would have
ball,
said he
but
was going to use the other one if you'd asked me.
That's me too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sitting here, I guess, and he's down there.
Well, okay, maybe.
Can we go with that, Mike?
Yeah, sure.
You could have
Sure,
been
hey.
down there, Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
I'm trying to find the ball that wants to hook early and hook late and miss right and hook back and tug left and sit. You know, I want one of those balls.
Maybe 2 balls and a stick. That's got a hook.
Wow.
Huh.
He didn't like it. He didn't like it
No.
at all. You can tell his body language said that.
He went right with it. The
Yep.
ball rolled back.
Yep.
A nice viewership number. Let's see if we can increase that number. If you wouldn't mind, hit the thumbs up here on this event and share this thing if you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of the above to watch KJ perhaps double here. His first shot on the right lane. Oh, that's good too. Wow, that looked really good off his hand.
Did. Maybe just a skosh in, but I mean, it looked good. If he's going to do anything, those two the last game where he got him closer to the rim, but they weren't overthrown. I mean, that was butter. Just, it's hard to repeat that, you know.
Right.
And I think that's what Jakob Butturff's going to do too. He's going to go out there to the edge and bounce it backward.
He feeds it more.
Yeah.
He feeds it a little more. Yeah.
All right, quality spare shooting from Kevin Jenkins, who defeated DeeRonn Booker in the opening match.
One frame. You know, one frame changes. They changed that last match 2 or 3 times, one frame. So
Back
here
and
we
forth.
go. Yeah, but here we go again.
That's Jakob Butturff, the pins you hear. He is warming up down on 1 and 2. He is preparing himself for his opportunity. 2 players in the field, or in the finals, have won this title. They are the 2 top seeds. They both looking to become second player to win twice. Francois looking to do it back-to-back. KJ looking for his first
shot.
Mexico Open title.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
He
Came
can
off
get
his
there.
hand. It was smooth.
It was smooth.
Right area. He didn't get it in.
He didn't. No,
Oh.
he didn't. That was about 2-3. Yeah, money.
Francois making sure that that hand dryer is working. Taking his opportunity.
Uh-oh.
Got to get.
He got it in from the get-go, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He knew it though.
Yeah.
You can always tell with Francois immediately when he starts walking over his body, he stands up like, oh,
Right.
it's in.
Ooh,
Fortunate.
that was close.
Yep.
A little closer than he would have preferred. Double 8 spare. This is somewhat similar, but KJ actually had an early open to start his match against DeeRonn. And then for Booker, it was frames 4, 5, and 6. He kind of got off track, missed the 2-8 split, and then went gutter 7. Still had a chance to win after a late split from Kevin Jenkins in the 9th frame.
It's a better shot.
That was a very good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one
But
there.
you see, when he stayed right at the line.
Yep. And
Yeah,
it was
he knew
on
it.
line from the get-go.
Yep.
It's one thing about these matches on this condition is you are not out of any of these matches. You know, unless somebody gets really hot, strings 5 or 6 in a row, which doesn't happen very often.
No.
It could change in the 8th, 9th frame real easy.
Back to Jenkins, 4th frame.
Got a hook up. Not bad.
Good thing
Pretty
he was
good shot.
soft on that. You know, that's a
Yeah.
good thing, because if
Was
he
a
was
good thing.
firm, he would
That
have had a
was-
3-pin combination.
Yes.
So that one made it back. Had a chance.
I'm not sure if that's the other ball that he tried on the fill or not, but
Right.
the first game, I don't think that ball, if put in that spot, gets back. Very smooth. Very good player.
At this point, now that KJ's been in 2 matches, of course, and if he were to advance, he's going to face another lefty. But how much of his own, transition at this point, since he's the only one over there, is he working against at this point?
To me, there was quite a few lefties in the top 32. So they had to. He had to already see that quite a bit, and he did out average everyone by at least 10. A few of the players, if not 12 pins to one of them. So does he know what to expect? I believe he does.
Peel ball.
Wow.
You bet.
That was almost stone 8.
You bet.
Yeah,
That
and that
almost went by the 8.
And that was way up.
Yes, but
That
the
was out.
speed was
Speed was
medium.
good, and
Yes.
the ball just.
Yes.
That's what Butturff tries to do.
Yes.
He gets it out there and bounces it, but his speed's soft enough that it makes that boomerang back.
Yes. He's got the very unique hand. Jakob does. His hand is like no other.
Emil and I were talking about that earlier.
Pays to be double jointed, folks. To do things that other people cannot do.
Yeah. The recipe to win.
That's a recipe to win, too.
Right there.
Wow.
Maybe a little salt, a little pepper, maybe a little lemon pepper if you like.
Yeah. Green chili.
You need
So how'd he even
green
go-
chili.
How'd
That's
he even
right.
go through the barbecue sauce on that?
Win in New Mexico. Green chili.
I heard you guys talking about the burritos.
God dang.
I was sitting there at home on my couch
They were-
listening to you guys. Who's got that? And then he brought 2 burritos.
Hey, man.
Brought you a burrito,
Yeah, green
Jimmy.
chili.
They were good.
It's got a silent kick to it, too.
Took me about 2 hours to eat it, but it was good.
All right.
Big double by Lavoie. And all these players not wasting any time. The pace is pretty quick here.
It is. That's got to
In.
hurry.
That's in.
He knew it.
Yep.
Kind of hung on to that one.
Little
Kind of
bit.
pitched it out, yeah.
Yeah. It was similar to the one on the right lane a few frames ago when he got in and went through the nose. He kind of knew it. Tell you, these 6-7 counts. You shoot a lot of these this week, and whew,
Not an easy spare.
no, they get monotonous.
It's good.
All right, good quality spare shooting again. Both players treating us to a very wonderful semifinal here. Through the halfway point. Still 255 out there for KJ.
Yes.
260. I'm sorry, 260 for KJ. 255 max for Francois Lavoie.
That's
got it
way
in.
in.
He knew it too.
Yeah, he did. Immediately.
Watching some of KJ's reactions when he comes back. It's not talking to his hand, but, doing the right motion of what he wants to do. Going to get that feel, so to speak, and that one was certainly right.
Reinforce the good stuff. Let the bad stuff go.
Spoken like a true professional right there.
Spare.
That is textbook.
That's solid, bud.
Yeah. Very good spare.
Those are important.
Well, if you were to just teach somebody how to shoot that 2-7, you just show them that right there.
I'd rather shoot the 5.7 than the 3.10, to be honest with you, on almost any condition.
Well, you are not the only person, I believe, who would agree.
Oh my goodness.
With that statement. Max still at 240. Oh, what a break that was.
That was in a really good spot on the lane, but maybe just a little bit firm.
Fast. That's what it looked like, because it was in the right spot. It was a similar spot than it was a frame before that.
And it peeled, almost left the 8.
Yeah, and this one was just a little firmer. Might have.
And just pushed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, house shots, those all strike.
Oh, yeah.
They all strike. This is not quite the house shot that people are looking at.
No. There's no artificial help here.
No.
Good spare for KJ.
And right now we got 13 clean frames.
On a very grueling pattern.
Yeah.
It's been that way. But this morning, you know, there was some high scores. Again, more players on the lane. There were multiple matches on a pair. Helped to the transition lanes quicker, set up things down lane, set up spots to throw to quicker. But as the players started to get eliminated, we got back to what we saw more so in qualifying, where shot making just like that was a much higher premium.
If you're going to throw them like that, there's not much else you could say. I mean, this is 10 back.
Again, 13,500 to the winner. Second, 67.50. Third, 32.50. And fourth, which is where DeeRonn finished, 2,500. Not including any high game items that may have been won, or high game pots.
Sweepers, Pro-Am.
And then if you bowled on Friday, thanks to Principal Financial Group, there was added money during those 2 squads as well. So some folks gained a little bit more money this week. Lavoie, 2-8.
A little fast.
Maybe touch.
Yeah. It was a pretty good spot right there.
Yeah. Earlier in qualifying or in the match play, you know, that ball strikes most of the time on most of the lanes. They're a little touchier now, I would have to say. Right now.
Well, I agree. And this one was fresh. You know, they saved this one for the show, so.
.28 off the corner. Got it.
Spare.
You know, Francois is one of the few guys that will wipe his left hand on his hip in his shirt before he throws a ball instead of his right hand. You ever notice that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, just little things.
He gets idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, he gets the right hand dry, but when he's on the approach, he'll reach down with the left hand and wipe it off instead of the right. So,
okay, we're going to keep an eye on that.
All right.
Jim Tillery's looking out for quirks in our bowlers.
I'm watching for him.
Must be the chili.
That green. I told him you'll red.
KJ.
Oh, wow.
That's a good shot.
That's a crisp ball right there.
And that's one where you go, you got to have it. You don't get it. You know the frames are starting to really decrease. Time is slowly running out.
So on the spare, he's 17 down. So he's certainly not out of the match, but it's imperative that he spare this and strike in the 9th.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Bingo right there. Dana Miller-Mackey watching. Thank you to Dana. She joined us briefly, I think on early Saturday. Always a pleasure. She's been in with us in the booth in the last couple of years. Staying at home, taking care of the fam. We appreciate you, Dana. Just had the D. Miller Courage Award given out just prior to, or prior to the end of match play, I should say. And that was given out to John Young this year. Of course.
John Strong, I believe.
Oh, John Strong. Excuse me.
Yep.
John Young is our
first and second year champion.
That's right.
Wow.
He got in a little bit. He tried to throw a little firmer, too. I think that was a natural line correction thing, but there's just not enough hold there.
No. And being urethane, it's not going to cross over.
No.
Well, time's certainly running out here. And now Francois can step up 9th and 10th and go ahead and close out this match and get one step closer to defending his title. Uh-oh.
Good break.
We'll take it the hard way.
Good break.
Still not out of the match.
No.
He's still in there. You know, anything can happen. One frame.
Francois is sponsored by Storm and Turbo and Cool Wick. He wanted to thank his buddy's Pro Shop and JR Pro Shop for drilling bowling balls and working with him.
Ninth frame. Oh, no.
Oh.
Wow. And there it is.
As Mike Miller just said.
There's the one frame. Yep.
One frame can change the complexity.
He still holds his destiny in his hands if he doubles in the 10th. I mean, it's still, but it's going to make it a lot harder now. Unless somehow he spares this.
We've seen some bounce out this week. There's some guys throwing them pretty firm that'll rattle them out.
Bounce maybe.
All right.
Well, double and 4.
Double and 4.
Again, 2 strikes and 4 pins, and Francois will shut out Kevin Jenkins and advance to the title match once more and again. He was in the title match in 2022. Or 21, excuse me, when Dylan Taylor won.
Lost to Dylan Taylor,
He lost to Dylan Taylor. He also lost in 2015 to Jakob Butturff. That scenario could play out potentially. We'll find out. But first and foremost, Lavoie, gotta have it.
That's got a hook.
Maybe no.
That was way out there.
Way.
Could have been worse.
Could have been.
Lucky to have 2 pins.
Yeah, lucky to get 9. He knows that.
Yeah.
So KJ, as long as, of course, Francois has it takes care of business here with the spare. Spare strike gets him to 202. KJ will need to step up and deliver 2 of his own.
They're having a little bit of difficulty on some of the spares in different parts of the lane.
You got to throw it straight at spares this week.
Yeah.
Throw it hard plastic, or just flatten the hand out and throw it straight.
Yeah, the only time they aren't is when they have double wood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to hook it across the middle of this week.
Oh, he was going to hook.
Oh, it'll end up in the gutter. He might be aiming for a 2-pin in the gutter.
Oh, he was definitely going to hook.
This one gets him to 202. It's going to be 201.
Okay.
Well, tell you,
Double and 7.
you can't ask for more situation than it's in your hands.
Yeah, it's in his hands.
Anybody notice the left-hand wipe off on Francois?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yes.
My friend Lori Coors just sent
Called
a
it.
message and said, yeah,
He called it.
that's one for me.
KJ must strike here to have a chance. On the
Gotta
lane,
hurry. Yeah, it was just in.
It was in.
2-7. Kevin Jenkins will not advance. Francois is on to the title match.
Huh.
And he will face Jakob Butturff, a repeat of the 2015 New Mexico Open title match. Butturff, again, victorious in 15. Two champions, two past champions will meet now in the finals. But what a run by Kevin Jenkins.
He bowled great today. He really did. He had a tough match right out of the gate with Eileen Linares this morning. You know, she put a couple deuces up, and he held that off.
Yeah, she made him work.
She did.
Kevin Jenkins will finish third.
Well, he made 32.50 for his efforts on there.
Wow. Well, folks, I mean, you could have chosen really any combination for the title match here based on the 4 finalists. But I don't think anyone's upset about a Jakob Butturff, Francois Lavoie title match scenario that we have here. Lavoie trying to be the first player again since John Young in 04-05, the first 2 events that existed in this tournament to go back-to-back. Both players trying to get their picture on the wall for the second time, trying to become 2-time champions. Butturff has got 1 match to do it. Francois trying to push Jakob, of course, to the extra if necessary match. Mike, I was talking to Jim earlier. I feel the last few times I've been here, certainly, we've gone to the if necessary each time. So there are no gimmies.
No, no gimmies. I can remember Francois when he bowled against Dylan Taylor. It was almost like Francois was trying to push in the middle of the lane. He used an aggressive ball and tried to, instead of just bowling the game, I think if he had that one to do over again, he would have done a different tactic. I think he believed, but there really is not enough shots.
Right.
Because he was the only one in there like that. And it ended up to where it kind of bit him, but he did reprieve himself. I mean, Francois has had a ton of success here, and so has Jakob. I don't know how many aggregate titles we have here, much less majors. These are 2 quality players, and we had a lot of quality players in the final 32. It's no different any year other than the occasional player who's just really hot at the time and happens to pick one off. We've had a couple of those on the wall, too.
Get a little bit of everything here at the New Mexico Open. And it's one of the best tournaments of the year. So for both of you, as we watch Jakob Butturff get his shots in, all right, so he knows, obviously, KJ steps off the lane, KJ throwing urethane. You anticipate Jakob to also throw urethane, so there's a similarity there. How those 2 players are attacking essentially the 1-2 slightly different. What do we anticipate from Butturff and how he's going to play the lanes? We kind of hinted at it before, but now as we watch, kind of walk the viewers through what you guys are seeing through your own eyes. Jim, to start with you.
I think, and what's funny here is I'm watching Jakob warm up, and he drifts right, but he likes to start it in a little farther than Kevin did earlier, but he also likes to get it out a little farther, so he wants to bump that 1 board. And just by watching his break point here, he's been in at 3 or 4 a couple times, and he's been out to 1 a couple times, and hasn't gotten back in either place yet. So it's a little tighter, it looks like, on this pair, and so he might have to square up a little bit more, but he's still going to go out and he's going to bump 1-2, and he's going to live or die out there on the rail. And if it works, it works. That was in a little bit, and it reacted pretty good. But I know some of the earlier matches, he was out on the rail. He was on the edge, and the ball made it back. And that's his end game. And I promised, well, I didn't promise, but I told Jakob I wouldn't tease him about this, but he's got his Flame On New Mexico Open shirt. So, if there's a Flash or Deadpool Wolverine, he's got that orange and yellow happening. So I told him I wouldn't tease him too bad about it. It's too late. We're talking about jerseys right here. Everybody's want to know about Francois wearing his own shirt rather than a New Mexico Open jersey. He wanted to.
Yeah, and those are sponsored by Innovative Auto Solutions, one of the proud sponsors of the tournament. Innovative, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Principal Financial Group, Shamrock Foods, and 36 other wonderful sponsors who help make this tournament what it is each and every year. I think it was just a wrong size.
It was.
Situation.
It fit him like a nightgown. It went down to his knees, and I said he looked quite quaint, but he didn't think so either. But he did want me to send a shout out to all those sponsors that are on those shirts. He appreciates that, and next year we're going to have to get a small or a medium for him if he keeps making the show.
Yeah, he might need to just get his own.
Yeah, that double XL was down to the knees. It looked good on some people, but it doesn't look good on Francois.
All right, folks, who you got? And I'll give Keith in the chat a lot of credit. He put odds on, I think he said, I forgot who he had as the favorite, but he had Lavoie, Butturff, and DeeRonn essentially making the show when we started this morning. And so he got them all right.
75%, that's pretty darn good.
That is pretty good.
And he did say one of these two would win. So
wow,
he gets the credit today. Shout out to Keith. But who you got in the chat, folks, as we get this thing underway? Lavoie is going to start the match. Top seed, Butturff says, hey, Frankie, you go first. And 4-pin to kick us off. Good opening shot for Francois. Again, these two met back in 2015. Somebody will win this tournament for the second time in their career, which, as we all know, folks, it is not the easiest thing to do. You got to get through 8 games of difficult competition, then through multiple matches in match play, and then 3 other fantastic finalists. Butturff first shot.
He got it in.
Yeah, you got it in. I think when he gets it out, he's just going to have to control his ball speed, because I think what he's hitting is Kevin's push. Obviously, Kevin was further out than him for most of his shots, almost all of his shots. So I noticed when he was warming up on 7, he kind of raised his eyebrows after the second time when he threw a shot, and he still didn't get up to the hole. So it's going to definitely be speed oriented for him. And if he can lock that in, I think it's going to be lights out.
Yeah. I think that's a challenge. He's got to get it there at the right time.
Right.
And right now he's hitting a little over under. And if he gets it out, with speed, it's not making it back.
Right.
He's got to keep that ball speed down, but he's got to get it to the point where he's comfortable.
He has to keep the ball speed down and still feed it in the front.
Correct. Absolutely.
And that's touch. He's
tough.
going to have to have some serious touch.
Yeah. I think in that situation, Francois has a little bit of an advantage, but
yes.
Frame 2. That one got there.
Just like that.
Just like that.
We drew it up just like that.
Butturff has does not want to get to the if necessary against Francois. And obviously, Francois has to do that to get a chance to win. But Butturff wants to end this thing this time around. No if necessaries.
Absolutely.
No game 7s. Win it in 6. Hit. Bang.
Wow.
Great shot.
Boys, we're in for a good match here. I don't know who's going to win, but we're in for a good match. And it might not be pretty every shot, but it's going to be entertaining.
I think they both know. They both have respect for one another. They know. They've both been here plenty.
Lavoie trying to be the first to double.
Pretty good.
We'll take it.
Yeah. Gave that 4 in.
He got it in just a hair. And I thought, ball speed.
Yeah.
Here's Butturff looking to match. Has it.
Boom.
Wow.
Both those, the last 2 shots that he saw, the speed was a little bit less.
Less speed,
And
more
he fed
room.
it. And he still fed
Absolutely.
it. The only thing that's going to get him is if he keeps that speed, if he doesn't get it out, I think.
I agree. He'll end up going through the nose, or if he does throw the speed, he's going to go by the head pin.
Yeah. We're getting to see why these guys make money. Bowling.
There is a reason that that's
There is
good.
a reason.
13,500 to the winner. Butturff out of trouble.
Firm.
Yeah. He got it to the right spot, just a little
Yeah.
firm. 6,700 for the loser of this match. Nothing wrong with that.
The money come and the money go. But the win,
Yeah.
that's what it's
They don't
about.
come very often. You're right.
Absolutely.
So interesting you said that, Mike. You know, I get a chance to work on the PWBA tour, and a lot of players echo that same sentiment just in regards to, obviously the money is the money, but you cherish and remember the wins, where they happened, what the trophy looked like, all of the above.
Yes.
Those are the things that stay with you, because you know you got to pay bills and all that kind of
Sure.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Life takes over.
Yes.
Once you win.
You don't know how many opportunities you're going to have. You know, you got to take advantage of them when you get them.
That's right.
Great shot.
I don't have any words for that, Mike.
I don't either.
That's about as good as it gets.
That's about as good as it gets. Sometimes I watch that and I think, is that ball going to go high?
Right.
But about the last 20 feet, it just sets
It just sits right
perfectly. It just stays right
there.
there.
Right on line.
Yeah.
Good speed.
I remember what I said earlier. He wants his ball to hook immediately. And so, obviously, giving that impression that it's going to go through the face. But because it hooks so early, it's going to lay off.
Yeah.
We got it in a little.
It's a good break.
Good break,
Just
yeah.
a little.
Just a little.
Gets the 9 out of the way.
Controlling the pocket. He's controlling the pocket.
If you're just joining us, again, this tournament kicked off really earlier this week with the first sweepers on the tournament lane condition. Sweepers all week long, on concluding on Thursday night. And the first 2 squads of qualifying took place on Friday at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Mountain. Then a Pro-Am, very nice Pro-Am sold out. Both of these players were a part of the Pro-Am, including DeeRonn Booker as well, 3 of our 4 finalists. 3 squads yesterday. Ooh, boy, that one made a right turn. And a nice break getting the 7 out.
It appeared that was even softer than what the ones that where he hit the hole, you know, the 1-2.
And I think he tried to soften up that speed and still get it left. But he
Yes.
softened it up and he got it in.
So
That's the bad combination.
pretty critical.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, spare handle for Jakob Butturff. 27 regional titles. 27.
It's kind of handy.
Not to even mention, of course, the 8 national titles that he has won, and that his first win here kind of kicked off what we now know as Jakob Butturff. He went on that just incredible run of regional after regional after regional. Everything he entered, he won. That translated to the national tour with shots like that.
He saw it on that one, Mike.
Yeah, he did.
He wrapped on that one, got it out, came around it, and it bounced back. Jacob, sponsored by Columbia 300, Vice Grips, Bowler X, and Coolwick. Got another fun fact about Jacob here in a little bit, but I'll save that one.
Well, back to Francois. 9 spare, triple, 9 spare. Has the lead, wants to keep hold of it. There it is.
Mike, that was identical.
Identical to the last one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That ball faces up at about 25, 28 feet and then just goes
Wow.
straight back.
It just starts looking.
Yep.
Looking for the 8-9.
Yeah. Hunting.
Hunting.
Did run a poll. Thank you for those of you who voted. 53% of you believe that Francois will win today. 46% of you believe Jakob Butturff will take home the crown. Double. Indeed.
Wow.
13 clean. We got 13 clean frames still.
This has been a well-bowled step ladder across the board. DeeRonn Booker and Kevin Jenkins, great matchup. DeeRonn fell there to Kevin Jenkins. Jenkins then, again, another close match. Fell to Francois, so we get to the title match. Similar situation here on this right lane again for Butturff. Just kind of waiting for you, right? That body language says, come on. He does a little jump with that hip.
Yeah.
Trying to get that 3 to fall.
He didn't strap on that one quite as hard as he did on the one on the left lane.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, another one. Another slash on the board for Butturff. Just some good notes in the chat just to reiterate or update you on. Yes, Butturff has to be defeated twice. These are 1-game matches. It's not a 2-game match like it was in match play for the winner's bracket. It's a traditional step ladder in that sense, but also traditional double elimination, where if the number 1 seed does lose the first time, we do go to the if necessary.
It's up to lane.
Yeah, that's a maybe right there.
Yeah.
That was a maybe at best, and see Butturff kind of turning over on that arm there.
Yeah, he knew it. And Julianne, to answer your question, well, not really a question, but your comment, there has been some excellent shot-making ability in this match. That one right there might have been the worst one of the group. Well, yep.
Spare. I think that's been something from what I can remember. I haven't seen Jakob bowl in a while. To me, his spare shooting is much better. And I know that was a chink in his armor there for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on some U.S. Open shows and, had some unfortunate miscues late. That cost him as well. Speaking of U.S. Open, there's a 2-time champion up on lane 8 right now. We got 4 majors between these 2 players because they throw shots like that again.
Mike, we knew it. We knew it left the hand. It was right on the right line. It just starts hunting.
In the 4th, 6th, and 8th, those shots couldn't be any more than a half a board different.
Right.
Is this like a T1000 type situation? The Terminator? Like is that the T1000?
That's him right there. Yeah.
That's him. Silent assassin.
Okay.
If he wipes his left hand right here, he's probably going to strike. Let's look. Oh, yeah. He's in.
Same pattern, too. 9 spare triple, 9 spare triple. Looking for 4 in a row.
That's in.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
that was in.
man.
It was in from the start,
He
too.
got it in.
Yeah.
No doubt. Probably about 3 boards. Kind of almost like a little yank at the bottom. Well, this one not quite over yet.
Wow.
He wants to get as many. He wants to get at least 3.
Yes, sir. Count. Certainly huge here. He will do just that. So,
Wow.
Butturff can step up here where he's had some trouble with the ball kind of going around a little too long, and he's left some 3-pins and some 3-pin almost like combos. But he can shoot 225. That would force out the obvious situation for Francois. to do what he has to do in the 10th frame. This one, huge. Gotta have it.
Oh.
A little lazy, better shot though, I would think. But looked like a better shot.
At this point, knowing Francois in the right lane, and he's gone flush, flush, flush. If I'm Jakob, I might be willing to try another option if I had one.
Right.
Because it may go to the next game. I'm not saying it will, but it might. Maybe he throws his regular ball here, the first one. Depending on what happens. If he doesn't get a strike on the first one and makes a mark, obviously that's the time to make a switch.
Correct. If Butturff doubles here, he's going to force Francois to mark in the 10th frame. Where minus the last shot on the left lane, Butturff has been very good on the left lane. Got to have it again, and no. And
now's the time.
Yep.
Here it is. So there it is, folks. Even if he makes this, gets strike to get to 202, and it's just formalities, 3 pins and 2 frames. So for all intents and purposes, this one is complete. Butturff is doing
going to go get another ball.
Go find another ball.
Absolutely.
Exactly what
you
just
choice.
discussed.
Answering, is this Noah Goudelet? Asking what pattern are they on? Well, Mr. Goudelet, if you've ever gone outside 100-degree heat and bowled on the pavement with some sand granules across the middle of it, that's pretty close to what we're bowling on this week.
So descriptive is Jim Tillery. Really honing his craft today.
And I'm
on the headset.
sitting next to the lane man right here.
Some of them bowl pretty good today, Jim.
To put it frank, Noah, it is, well, I call it the Mike Miller special. And while we have a moment, since this match is effectively over, Mike, if you could reiterate, we've got some new members to the audience. Great shot again from Butturff. Just the mindset on pattern creation for this tournament, and then theoretically how the players have attacked what you created in that sense.
Basically, my first order of business is try to keep it fair, left to right. And secondly, what I'm looking at is the age of our panels and knowing where ball track is on the right and what's going on with the left. So I have to offset the pattern a little bit to be able to make up for that, because, wow, that ball peeled.
Wow.
I just don't think that's the ball.
No, it was farther right.
Yeah, it's further right.
I don't think he does either, but he had to try that. Yeah, that was amazing.
Just in case there's trouble. And there's 32 mils, so there's a lot of oil. So even though they appear to hook that much in the middle, it's only because of the buff and the distance. It's only 37 foot. And most of the oil, 2/3 of the oil, is put down from about 26, 27 feet back to the foul line.
220.
Wow.
190. We're going to the if necessary again.
One more time. We do it every year.
Every year.
We got it.
Winner take all. Top seed, Butturff. Second seed, Lavoie. Francois trying to repeat. Both players would win their second New Mexico Open title in their, of course, wonderful careers. 1 year separates them in age. Francois 31, Jakob 30, just turned 30 in April.
Did Jakob still have the choice of lane?
To my knowledge, yes. To my knowledge. I will confirm that for you in a minute.
I just kind of wondered, because now Francois gets to finish on the right.
He hadn't missed there.
First shot, Lavoie. Bang.
That was
Wow.
in.
That was
In a little further, but a little straighter, a little firmer.
Yeah. Okay.
Jakob still had lane choice.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was. Try to get it in a little bit and loop it a little bit more.
A little bit.
Still didn't quite get there, but
To
interesting.
me, it appears he's got to get it out early and not overthrow it, and still not throw it so slow that it barks too hard.
Right.
That's touchy.
That's hard to
That's
do.
quite a bit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Trying to do 3 things.
Yeah.
All right, good spare.
You know, Jacob and I were talking earlier today, and we were joking about his favorite foods, and he said, "Can you tell I'm not a salad eater?" And I go, "I wasn't going to say a word." He goes, "I'm an Oreo cookie, Mountain Dew eating." And I said, "Okay." I said, I'll try to mention that later. He just laughed. Nothing wrong with that.
He's a very fun and a very kind-hearted
Huge heart.
individual. JB.
Man. It just looks like either he's catching more of what Kevin did and he's pushed it into his own, but right now is the time he's got to make a strategy change. Right now.
Right now.
Is reactive possible, you think, at this point?
I don't know, but I don't like what he's got right now,
Sure.
so why not?
Right.
I mean, the boy can bowl.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
Well, and that was his test shot there. I think he moved back left.
Straighter.
Yeah, I think
Tried
he
to
got
go a little
close.
Not
straighter.
feed it so much in the front.
That's what it looked like.
Okay.
That shot was similar to me when he needed a strike to lock
Over
up
here.
the top seed. He was feeding it, kind of getting a similar reaction, and I thought he'd make a parallel move. He did move a little left, went straighter through the front, and got the strike that he needed. So that could be the move for Butturff. We'll find out here in a moment. Plenty of experience, though, across these 2 players, so you have to certainly trust their process. Whew, but that's a good process to trust right there.
That shot, it just looks, for 2 or 3 times, I feel like, God, that ball's going to go high, and
It's
it
gonna
just
go
lays.
through the nose, and
It just lays there.
It's
Does
amazing.
exactly what you said, Emil. It goes, it hooks what he wanted,
And stops.
and then just boom.
Yeah.
Again, the if necessary. Francois defeated Jakob Butturff 220 to 190, which forced the if necessary. And Butturff still having trouble, which earlier in their previous match, the left lane was a good lane for Jakob. Meanwhile, Francois just keeps pushing him.
Ooh,
He's either moved in on that lane
just a hair.
and piping in a little more.
Right. Because it looked like it was in a little and a little faster.
Yes.
Just on that lane. That's exactly what it looked like.
At this point, I think Francois is thinking, I'm going to stay in the 1-3 because he's going to have to show me that he can get a string going. Otherwise, it's not incumbent upon him to take risk.
That's a great point, Mike. Yeah, all of the cards right now are on the side of Lavoie. He don't need to show cards. He doesn't have to go all in. He can check
Not
and
yet.
check and check and check.
Not yet.
Right.
Right? I mean, he's more than capable, this guy.
Right.
Right here. More than capable, so we'll see what's up.
But yeah, but you're right though. Jacob has to kind of force Francois to get away from what he's doing, even if it's Plaque 10, Plaque 10.
Straighter.
Oh,
That was definitely straighter.
yeah. And a little soft, and it reacted pretty good.
I think he did everything he wanted to do on that shot.
Yeah, I do too.
And he wrapped to 7. I do think this lane pushes just a little bit long.
7. I agree. Maybe with that shot, it won't read it as bad. It's spare.
While we have a moment, again, big thank you to the wonderful family here, Steve Mackey, Mike Miller, Dana Miller Mackey, proud owners here of Tenpins and More at Rio Rancho. The 20th year of this tournament and they have been a part of each and every one. Put so much work, time, love into the building, into the tournament, and we thank you, Mike, Dana, and Steve, for all that you do.
Oh, well, thank you, Emil, for saying that. But the one who deserves 99.9% of the credit is Steve. That's for sure.
Butturff must have, it feels like. And that one
Mike,
right off the hand.
He's just in jail right now.
He knew he needed strategy change. It's still not over. It's still it's the fourth frame.
Right.
It's early, but he's gonna have to make another decision here.
Right. And he's lost right now. You can see by the
he needs
body
to cover
language
this
and-
up. This
yeah.
is
Got to have the spare.
he needs a spare. Spare. Ooh. I thought he had it.
I did too.
Yep.
Well, it is risk-reward time, certainly, for Butturff. And you don't anticipate Francois to give him an opportunity or any feeling that anything he's going to do is going to be much better than what it is, because Francois, I don't know the last time he's missed on the right lane.
It's been a while.
In fact, every shot that he throws on the right lane, he leaves you speechless.
Yeah.
Eons since the last time he missed on the right
Don't say anything. Don't anybody say anything. That was speechless shot right there.
You know how it is. You say that thing and then it's all click,
well,
clack.
We've
Hey,
had,
thanks a lot.
We've had that a few times.
Yeah.
Still broadcaster's jinx.
Broadcaster's
that's
jinx.
terrible.
That's what we do. Jakob is going to need a little bit of help from Francois, but first and foremost, he's just got to figure out a way to get all 10 to go down on the 1-2. He is bringing over a different bowling ball, so he is going to try something, we assume. Again, Butturff did bring over a different piece of equipment. Looks like maybe another black hammer. We'll find out. Maybe, yep.
Boy, that was a hair farther right and firm, and it still got the.
It still got the 1-3.
Still got the 1-3.
Yeah.
You control the 1-3.
That could have been 210. That
Yeah.
could've- the first game, that's 210.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Or worse. That's why he's bowling. And we're back here. Player.
All right, good spare. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Sounds like there might be an after party somewhere, according to the chat.
There might be several. They're having a great time on there without us, aren't they? They don't need our commentary. They're having a great time.
Butturff did take that ball on the rack.
Slow.
Boy, that ball made a big move the last 5-6 feet.
Wow, yeah.
That ball looked light.
It
Like
did.
it was never going to get up, and it did.
And that was a lot. That was a lot of loop.
It was. So this one here is, I mean, we're getting into the 6th. This is huge right here.
He's got to
the
have it.
6th, he needs this to be a good time. Let's get going.
Max score for Butturff right now, 233.
Trusted it. Wow.
It's about as good as he's thrown it on
And
that
that's
lane.
the hardest part of it, because you're kind of a prisoner to the carry at that point. You know, you got to have it, and you can see it by his face. And he's like, it's frustrating. Still a good shot.
Right.
And the game's not over. Game's not over.
Well, in a tough pattern like that, it seems like whenever you have to have it, you know, bowling guys are going to go, no.
Right?
On an easy pattern, you throw it left and you can strike, and you tug it right, you can strike, and the bowling guys look saying, okay. But right there,
Yeah.
oh,
That was a pretty good shot.
that was a good shot.
Yeah. Especially off of what's happened in the previous 4 frames.
Sure.
Yeah.
Going back to our previous match here that forced the if necessary, it it's got to be at least 3 additional shots going back that Francois has not missed on the right lane.
Truth.
No doubt about it.
Truth.
Maybe. Still
Just.
in the wheelhouse of Lavoie. Canada stand up.
Yep, that one he might have thought was going to go high because you could tell by his right leg doing that deal. It's a bowler move. And
yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a bowler move. I mean, he's like, hold, come on, baby. And it was dead flush again. So he kind of likes that right lane. And that was a strategy thing at the start.
You're going to let him finish there?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm going to make him finish on 3 or 4 or something.
And understandably so, Jakob wants to finish where he feels the most confident.
Exactly.
Yes, right. I get that too.
Seventh frame, Lavoie
Ooh,
didn't like it at all. And that's
almost identical.
1-3.
Yeah.
Still hit the
1-3.
Yeah.
Good 9 there.
He's just living in the pocket, Mike. You know, we were talking about living in the 1-3.
It's time for dodeca bagger.
A dodeca bagger. Mark that one down, folks.
Is that only something we can get in New Mexico? Is that what's happening?
That's it.
Okay. Sounds like a stock we should invest in.
Oh, boy. A dodeca bagger.
Just quality bowling, really, certainly from both. And the shot making is Julian Brown. Shout out to Julian, by the way. A great comment. And the shot making still has been good. And you can look at Butturff's scorecard and just assume that he hasn't been throwing good shots, but that's not the case.
Not the case.
Hey.
Wow. Mike, I'll tell you what, that
Trust
slow loop
is a must.
Yeah.
Or your
game's gonna
is a bust.
Yep.
213 max for Francois. Oh, excuse me, Jakob Butturff, I beg your pardon. Francois pacing right now in the 2-0s, and that if he continued to at this point go, strike, spare, strike, and so as Mike said, certainly not over, but the Dodeca burger is necessary right now.
Dodeca burger?
Bagger.
I know. I was thinking that might be on the menu.
I like burger too.
Uh-oh.
That's got a
Push,
hook.
push.
Oh,
wow.
Look at that. Boom.
Oh.
Shakalaka.
Here we go.
He's liking it.
You know what? Those 4 shots right there, after what he's had the last game and a half, that was impressive.
Well, that's got to make him feel good now. Is this guy right here going to let him have a chance?
That's the question.
And I'm a believer in no.
Right.
But because he's got that much experience, but we'll see.
He's got a better chance on the left lane, speaking of Jakob, because the right lane, he's just owned it, speaking of Francois.
Yeah.
So it would be shocking at this point. Certainly, you anticipate he's going to throw a good shot. Whether or not they all go down, that's always a different story.
Sure.
Maybe.
I think the last time Francois missed on the right lane was that switch in 7-10. And that was a long time ago. That was way back then.
3 games?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the last time Mike was on tour.
Oh, that's when I had hair.
I'm going down that boat
Oh,
too.
you're going.
I refuse to do the swirl. I'm not doing it. I'll put a cat on my head before I do the swirl.
You guys like this re-rack here from Francois on the left lane?
Well, he might be taking it for 2 reasons.
Taking a little time.
Yeah.
Just taking. He knows this is an important shot.
Calm himself down
This is
a
a
little
very
bit.
important shot.
Sure. He might using it to, slow Jakob down a little bit too.
And this is not, of the 2 lanes,
right.
not his favorite.
Right. He's gone, light 7 the last 2 shots. Does he move much is the question. Sometimes you can outfox the fox here.
Right.
A couple of 7 pins the last time up here, but it's been 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare. Most recently for Francois. Left lane. There it is. And the fist pump
Very
to accompany
professional.
it.
Very professional shot. took his time,
Sure.
and got out there and just made the shot.
And he didn't.
But still, he has his destiny. Obviously, Francois does in his own hands. But still, Jakob can get up there and make him go to work.
Yep, he can.
To make it interesting, we got a steal.
That ball so much better.
We got something still.
2 more in down the lane, and it's flush.
Yeah.
Still,
and he's
if he gets it out, it's flush.
It bounces. He's
Totally different ball reaction.
If he doesn't win this match, he's going to look back on that and say, why didn't I do that?
Well,
but it's hindsight, you know.
Yeah. It's always the best, right? Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to look at on a Monday.
Yeah.
Butturff with 3 in a row effectively needs at least 2 here in the 10th frame. But force at least a mark from Lavoie. Can he continue it? Butturff gets some carry on the 10. Jakob Butturff not going away.
Huh. Just totally different reaction.
Completely.
Yeah, completely.
He had to find something.
Good move. That's why he's a pro. I mean, heck of a move.
Yeah.
He brought down a different black hammer. It's been the one. This is a key shot. It's going to force
that's out.
Francois. No. That was left.
We thought it bounced back, but a little firm, a little bit.
Still, a lot of trust. A lot of trust. And in that situation, I applaud that. That was a good shot.
Nice job by Jakob Butturff. Well, wilder things have happened. But good shot, good count. And Francois Lavoie is going to defend his New Mexico Open title. Had miss in eons on the right lane for the win. There it is, Francois Lavoie. The first person since John Young in 2004 and 2005 to repeat at the New Mexico Open.
Wow. Tell you what, that was impressive bowling.
You got to beat him.
You have to. He's going to live in the 1-3.
He's going to live there.
That's
well, all of you wonderful people, so generous with your time hanging out with us, and those of you who have been generous with your pockets for donating to Bowlstream TV this week, thank you so much. 238 to 199. Mike, as always, great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Emil. Thank you very much. You did a great job.
Not only here, but of course on the lanes. I look forward to seeing you in 2025.
Okay, thank you so much.
We will have a trophy presentation, of course. I got to feed a microphone to Mr. Steve Mackey. Jim, you stay here for a moment.
okay.
Uh-oh. I am.
Thank goodness New Mexico is a boxing state. Trophy makers everywhere rejoice. The Maryland Open is a much more difficult trophy tour. In Hawaii, they gotta have 5 people. Not counting the other islands. They don't get this right. I'm stalling, so I will hand this over to Steve in just a second for that awards presentation. 2 exceptional bowlers on the extremely demanding condition. We'll wrap away in a second. Bowling this, we'll see what teacher bowl on. Super great shot making by all of the finalists. Get that far, let alone competing on island or stepladder like that. Hats off to all of them. Steve Reno,
An historic moment in American bowling history, as far as I know, and I'm a little bit of a historian. Francois Lavoie has won 3 scratch tournaments in 3 consecutive weekends in 3 different states. Never happened before in my lifetime. That's unbelievable, Francois. Great job. Great job also for the 4 finalists today. DeeRonn Booker, under a bit of pressure in his hometown. 4th place for him. Kevin Jenkins, big average today, Kevin. And I'm sure you bowl here every year. I'm sure we'll see you back in the step ladder as well. Great effort today in the match play rounds by Jakob Butturff to be the top seed. And a good ball change, gutsy ball change actually, to finish up that game. That switch of 10 in the 6th frame, probably the difference in this particular match. Congratulations, Jake. 2nd place for you, $6,750. How about a couple of words?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that came out. This was a very challenging week. I believe every year that I bowl, this might be the lowest cut that we've ever had in Mexico. Definitely challenging. Honestly, personally, like this was being this far with how my life was going a month ago. I'm just happy to be here and very thankful to all you guys for coming out here and for all the support. And hats off to Frankie. He's bowling amazing, bowls amazing every time in this tournament, and well learned. So thank you guys again, and thank you to Stephen and umpires out here.
Thanks for the award as well. And now him and Frankie are one apiece. See that picture over there, 2015, Jakob Butturff. He beat Frank that year in the final. So you're now 1-1. Might get a replay next year. Frank, fantastic, mate. Come on over. Team Canada for 10 years. Could be there for 30 probably. Where are you going this weekend?
I am going from here to Reno, not actually bowling in Reno, just doing some assistant coaching with Team Canada. They're competing in the Pan Am Championships. And then from there, I'm going over to Germany, to Sweden, and then straight from Sweden to Korea before I go back home.
The traveling man, lots of travel happens in bowling. Francois, that was a fantastic effort. A win in Jonesboro 3 weekends ago. Last weekend in Denver. You've been bowling against top fields. You had Tom Hess and Crystal on your team up there at Jonesboro. And a 3rd win. Did you think about that today very much?
Not really, no. That was the last thing on my mind. The condition here is hard enough. I don't need to be putting extra pressure on myself. I just wanted to make good shots, and that's what I did.
You sure did. You made plenty in that game and the game before. 238, the big championship game on a tough scoring pattern. We've got Jeff Heener here to give you a nice trophy, and we'll give you the real check later to put that up in your ball frame when you get home in about 4 weeks from now from all these overseas trips. Congratulations, Francois. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. And Francois, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the biggest check we've had for the last 3 weeks, am I correct?
Yeah, it is.
It's his biggest check for the last 3 weeks. Yay, New Mexico.
And it's bigger than last year.
And it's bigger than last year as well, which was a record for you, $13,090 last year. You've got some a little bit of bonus money coming on that as well. Congratulations again. Folks, if you want to join us in the party room over there, it's called Bar, come on over. I want to thank all the staff here. You've done a fabulous job this weekend, particularly down the back end. Mike Miller with the lane conditions, very challenging for everyone. Emil, Jimmy Tillery, hope you said some good things about the tournament, Jimmy. Jimmy was the Super Senior winner this year, $500 prize. Who knew? Right from the old bullshit, mate. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks Rich. Thanks for Rio Rancho Observer. There'll be a nice story, correct, this Wednesday. Promise? Cross your heart, hope to die. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a safe trip home, and don't forget to join the league wherever you live. We need your business.
Jim, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, so Jim, can you hear me? Okay, so I had you at 1.
There we go.
My bad.
That's okay.
All right, so we're going to take a couple photos, and of course I'm going to try to get Francois mic'd up here real quick. All right, so you hold on. Jim, as I step away, just feel free to kind of give a recap, some of your thoughts on what you just watched.
No, I need one without all this stuff.
Without this.
Yeah.
Yes, bud.
So we can do another one like that one.
Oh, one of those. Okay.
Yeah, one of those.
That microphone's picking a lot up, isn't it? Well, you can hear Francois talking on the microphone. There we go. So recapping what we had in the finals, for those of you there, we're finishing up today. Kevin Jenkins bowled DeeRonn Booker in the first match and defeated DeeRonn in a good match. And then he bowled Francois Lavoie, and Francois won that match. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'd like to go back 2 or 3 games. I'm going to ask Francois this. On the right lane, on lane 7, on lane 8, I don't think he missed for about 2.5 games, not since the Shaker 710 he left. Maybe against Jenkins, but he bowled phenomenal. In the championship, he bowled against Jakob Butturff, and I don't remember him missing on the right lane. And on the left lane, he kept it in the 1-3 pocket, kept it in play, made single pin spares, and he just forced somebody to beat him. And it's just on this shot, if you don't get lined up pretty early against that, he's in trouble. So Francois, what a performance. I've seen some bowling stretches in the past, but winning the last 3 tournaments the way he is, his confidence is on a rise, his mind is quiet, and he is just on a roll. So I know he'll be going to Reno this week, or probably this week for the Pan Am Games, but he's going to be an assistant coach for Team Canada. And I know a lot of our friends are going up there for the United States. Steve Badavinik, Dana Osick, our friends are going to be up there, and we'll look forward to seeing them there. But I know Francois will be up there as well. So what a performance today this was. And we'll hopefully get a chance to have some questions with him here in just a minute. But good performance, great turnout. And we certainly enjoyed everybody coming online and sharing it with us today. So it was fun seeing all the comments coming through, a lot of funny ones. And Mike Miller joining us here. It always adds to the, you can't help but laugh with Mike. But Emil, what a show.
Yes, it was great. And by the way, folks, I'm willing to wait it out just to talk to Francois. So if you want to hang out and wait and just hear from him directly, if you need to skedaddle and you can come back to it. Of course, it'll be archived on Bullstream TV. It was a really good final overall. The stepladder in general. KJ, DeeRonn Booker were great. Both of those players performed very well during match play. And that's the one part for those who maybe missed match play. There were some really, really good matches today. At times, DeeRonn needed to do what he had to do. He was in the elimination bracket at one point, and so was KJ.
Yeah.
As well, and they both emerged from the elimination bracket. Watching Francois and Jakob kind of do what they do and do work is such a fun thing. It is phenomenal. It truly is. It is kind of what they say, the greatness portion of things at work. Man, it's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. People don't understand how good that performance was, and watching them all day is just even more impressive, because this is really a tough condition. And it's one that demands all your concentration, all your good spare shooting, good first ball shots and adjustments and ball changes and speed adjustments. Everything comes together. And to watch these guys in the finals, what was pretty impressive today for me, because I bowled on it Friday, and holy cow, it was really brutal. So Yeah, I saw greatness at its finest right there. And Francois is interviewing with the news reporter from the Rio Rancho Observer here for just a minute. We got a couple of questions for him when he comes back, but great performance today. Emil, go ahead.
I was going to say, if anyone has a question in the chat right now, just about anything while we have a moment. I don't know what we can answer for you at this point, but we'd love to be able to help you out if necessary. But go ahead, Jimmy.
Emil, thinking about today, just in the match play and in the finals, what one thing stood out in your mind today? Is there something that stood out that?
That's a great question. I would say, I think, I know there's a lot of talk about urethane. But if you have the right comprehension and understanding of what to do and how to use it, it really is a tool. And I think Francois understanding exactly what he wants. I told you he wanted to see the ball hook immediately.
Right.
He got to that point and he got deadlocked in on the right lane. And he just managed the left lane. He carried. If he didn't, he didn't. But he left single pin spares.
Made easy, makeable spares.
And he made it easier for himself because he was able to get comfortable quicker.
Yeah.
It was an interesting way, man. But when watching professionals bowl, urethane has come in play. It's not a lot. It doesn't come into play on the women's tour a lot, but this year we saw more of it.
Right. And
the players who weren't really familiar with it started to put that in their bags and understand where, when, why, and how to use it. And so it's a tool. And if you know how to use it, you're not going to use it every time.
Right.
But I think it is something that you need to understand when and where to how to use it.
Well, and I haven't used urethane myself, and yeah, I hadn't used urethane myself for several years, many. I mean, we're 25, and DeeRonn and I drilled a pitch black a couple weeks ago, specifically for nationals, and I played out at nationals in doubles with it. And that's the first time I'd thrown it until I brought it here this week and had a chance to use it here a little bit, which was kind of cool. And I just wish I'd have thrown it better. I didn't throw it nearly as good as he did. But anyway, it was fun to have in the bag. So at least I have it in the bag right now. I just didn't throw it as good as Francois did, that's for sure. So Francois is joining us right here.
Right in the middle. Yeah, keep going. Okay.
We got the man with us. Can you hear us? Wow. Francois, I'll tell you what, brother. I just sit back here and try to keep my mouth from falling open because that was impressive. It really was. The quick question for you, and I tried to remember this because I had a question on the chat, but I think the right lane, I think the last time you missed on the right lane today was on that swish in 710, and that was 3 or 4 games ago. Does that sound close?
Yeah, so that would have been the end of the 9th frame of the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, Mike Miller and I sit here in the meal, and we watched it, and as soon as it came off your hand, we knew it was going to be flush. It was crazy how it was reading the lane. And, you know, even when it started to check up early, it just sat there, and it was looking for the 8-10, or the 8-10. That's my ball. The 8-9.
Yeah, that was the goal. That was the goal. I was actually a little surprised that Jakob made me start the match again because that meant I was going to finish on the right lane.
We talked about that same thing.
Must have been a comfort thing for him that he wanted to finish on a certain lane. But yeah, I think if it had been me, I probably would have paid attention to that, and I probably wouldn't have make me start again. But
I wouldn't have either.
Yeah, no, that's what I told Emil before we started. I just wanted the ball to hook early and kind of lay there. And they were a little tricky in my match against, in the semifinal match.
Jenkins?
So, yeah, against Jenkins. They were a little tricky, but then I feel like I finally got the right picture and I got the ball to do what I wanted it to. And yeah, from there, I think I bowled 2 pretty solid games against Jakob.
It was impressive. And the spares you left were single pins. You know, they're makeable spares, and so that was even more impressive. But
yeah, well, once I saw, especially in the second match, once I started with a double, and Jakob had the 2 early opens, and so, you know, I kind of pay attention to the scoring pace without necessarily score watching. I knew he needed to start doing something to catch me. So at that point, you know, I Greek churched a couple of frames before on that left lane, and so I didn't want the ball to keep checking. So I kept chasing it left a little bit just to stay ahead of it, and it wasn't going through the pins quite right. But like you said, I was leaving single pins, and at that point, I didn't really need to do anything else because Jakob wasn't stringing them, and he had 2 opens early. Until he did string him, and then I had to try to, he made it close. I had to try to think about what I was going to do on that left lane, and I did strike in the 9th. I was pretty happy with that shot.
Francois, obviously now that it's over, many have said this is one of the more difficult, certainly New Mexico Opens. From the lane pattern perspective, what was the level of difficulty in your opinion? And ultimately, what was just the one difference? And I'm sure there's multiple, but that one thing that you can hang your hat on this weekend.
My shot making was really good. I'm really happy with that. I feel like things are coming together pretty nicely. There's a lot of ups and downs in the sport, and I seem to be on an upswing right now, and I'm going to try to ride that wave as long as I can. I was really happy with my shot making this week, and yeah, the pattern, like you said, it's always tough here, and this year especially was, I won one of my matches with 350, I think, earlier.
Yeah, you did.
350 to 340, I think. So yeah, they're tricky, especially when you start following everybody else and going across the house. So that was my goal all weekend, basically. What I was doing in the final, I was trying to be as close to that shape as I could all weekend long. So in qualifying, I didn't really hook it at all. I just tried to keep the ball in play, and I know I can make some spares. And the first task in this tournament is to get in the top 32, and then after that you try to figure out how to strike a little bit more. But yeah, qualifying was all about just making good shots and making some spares, leaving some spares and making them.
I think Steve asked what was kind of next on your schedule, but I'll actually kind of reiterate that. What's next on your schedule, and what are you looking forward to as you got the back half of 2024 left?
Yeah, I'm going from here tomorrow morning to Reno. The Pan Am Championships are going on, so I'll be there just for a few days to help out with Team Canada a little bit. We're sending sort of a bit more of a development team to that tournament this time. So guys that don't necessarily get to travel all the time, we're sending that team there to give them some experience and try to grow our national team. So I'll help out for a few days, and then I'm off to Germany, where I'll be doing some clinics with the military, coaching clinics and pro-ams and all that stuff in Spangdahlem and Ramstein Air Force bases. And then from there to Sweden for the Lucky Larson Masters, which is a PBA title run by Martin Larson and his team. And then straight from Sweden over to Korea for our storm distributor in Korea, Ginseng, just finished building this brand new top-of-the-line facility, bowling center / warehouse / headquarters / everything else you can fit under that roof. It looks like a monstrosity. It looks like a mall almost from the outside, but I'm pretty excited to check it out, and I'm excited to get some international travel done too.
Real quick, last question. What does it mean to defend the title here at the New Mexico Open? You're just only the second person, and it took 20 years to do it, to have someone else repeat as a champion. What does that mean to you?
I don't know, honestly. It's really cool. Yeah, obviously it's cool. It isn't something I was thinking about, though, if I'm being honest. Like,
sure.
It is nice, but I wasn't really thinking about that. The pattern's hard enough. I didn't need to add all that to my thoughts. I was just trying to figure out the lanes, and it worked out in the end. But yeah, I've always been pretty good with my process, and that's what I was trying to stick to the entire weekend. I just wanted to make the best shot I could every single shot, and here we are now.
Francois, Congratulations. Job well done. Great bowling, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is Francois Lavoie, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate him. Jim is number 1. Jim, you're 1, right?
I am 1.
Okay. You are number 1 in my book.
I appreciate that.
Jim, all right, let's wrap this thing up. Final
Okay.
thoughts here as we head out.
Well, I think we saw why the best bowlers tend to rise to the top. You had a very premium condition with which demanded shot-making skills of the premier kind. You got spare making, you got adjustments, whether it be with resin, urethane, soft hand, side turn, early hook, late hook. There's a million variables here, but we saw the very best players rise to the top this week, and I think it was a great tournament overall, and we had a good turnout. We really did. We had some seniors bowling, super seniors. We had some young ladies bowling. One of them make the finals, and or the match play finals. And we had a lot of these good young 20 to 30-year-old players that just keep coming out of the woodworks. And so all in all, I think it was great. A lot of good qualifying squads and pro-ams and folks. And I think for those of you that want to bowl, I think Steve said something on August 15th through the 17th next year.
Yep.
So you guys that are watching, get down here and bowl with us. My gosh, we're going to have fun no matter what happens. And I guarantee you, you're going to be challenged. So don't be afraid to spend a little money. Get down here to New Mexico. We'll have some fun besides just the bowling. So, Emil, I appreciate you letting me sit in with you today. I know it was a long day for you, but I appreciate that, and I enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll get down the road. And don't be afraid to watch for your mail here in the next couple of weeks.
I appreciate that. As we head out, we appreciate you. We leave you with a very good look at the check and the trophy. Francois Lavoie, the champion for the second consecutive year. Again, the second player to repeat, the first being John Young, who won the first 2 New Mexico Open crowns. I want to thank all of the sponsors of this wonderful event. Pabst Blue Ribbon, Innovative Auto Solutions. Of course, we saw their logo on the back of the jerseys that the players wore in the finals today. Principal Financial Group and Shamrock Foods as well, and of course all 36 other sponsors. I believe there were 40 in total.
Wow.
Steve obviously does a great job there, and we thank all of the sponsors who help make this event what it is. Speaking of Steve, I want to thank Steve Mackey, his wife Dana Miller Mackey, of course, Hall of Famer, and of course Mike Miller as well. Want to thank everyone here at Tenpins and More at Rio Rancho. A phenomenal place. Thank you to all of the staff who made this possible. And certainly Jeff Hemer, the tournament director, who did a fantastic job, as he always does. JBT's finest right there. I'm going to let Jim take his headset off because she's been waiting for you. Oh, she's waiting for me.
She's giving us something.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that means, but I'll figure it out. Okay. All right.
We have a year wrong somewhere on some channel.
Okay. All right, bet. Well, we'll fix it.
We'll find it out.
Somewhere.
No doubt. It's
all
there.
right. Having said that, that was funny. I think they got Lee coming in tonight. I remember that last year. So I got to get off the air and go tear this stuff down. So for all involved, congratulations again to Francois Lavoie, your champion. Repeat here at the 2024 New Mexico Open, the 20th anniversary. Thanks to everyone here for watching this weekend. Thanks to those who donated. I will put that towards good use. I'm going to buy a new camera at some point soon. And that's going to do it for me. Flight tomorrow, but we'll tear it all down. Thank you again, Jim Tillery. Fantastic job today. I look forward to doing this again with you in the future. For all involved, we say so long for now. From Tenpins and More in Rio Rancho, Francois Lavoie, the champion once more and again. This has been a presentation of the 20th edition of the New Mexico Open. You watched it live and only on Bullstream TV. Good night.